Hi there, Ashley Mahaffey again, and today we are going to be talking about follow-ups. Okay, what is a follow-up? And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how to use it. All right, so we're talking about Clean Week in this training, and the training right before this was about issuing invitations to a Clean Week. All right, so a follow-up is going to be like, what do you do next, right? You're waiting for them to jump in and maybe, because people will not be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. That will not happen all the time. I can tell you that you're gonna have to nurture it, you're gonna have to follow up, and you're gonna always have to be issuing invites, having conversations, and following up. And so don't worry when people are not like gonna buy the first time that you invite them to a challenge. It's cool. This is normal. All right. You're doing things right. Just keep reminding yourself that you're new in this business, that it's going to take time plus skill, right? Time plus skill. You got to keep practicing inviting, practicing following up, having these conversations, and you're going to get better. You just have to trust the process. Okay. So a couple of things. I would say the number one skill in following up is leading with enthusiasm. Really being enthusiastic about that next follow-up. So I like to make sure, if I've been going back and forth in messaging, I like to send a voice memo. That might be the next thing. So the other thing that I like to do is after that, you might not want to do this, but I do this. I like to shoot a video on my phone and then send it to them, because I feel like when they can see me, they can hear my enthusiasm. It's like I'm right there with them having a coffee, and we're talking about like getting them started on their Clean Week or the next challenge. And they can see that this is so them. They want to be a part of this. Okay. So the other thing that I would say is that when you're making your invitations, that it's so much easier to have a follow-up and make it without being like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to be coming in out of the blue. They're going to be like, it's going to be awkward for me to come back and circle back because I didn't have any kind of appointment set up. So this is what I mean. Like, these are two scenarios. One, it would be, hey, here's the link, check it out. I'd love to have you join. Let me know what you think. And then you hear nothing from them, right? There's a different scenario. Here's the link that you asked for. When do you think you're going to look at it so that I can know when to follow up? Oh, I think I'll get to it tonight after work. Great. I'll follow up tomorrow. Would that be good? Awesome. Then you keep your word. You follow up tomorrow and you say, hey, just circling back tomorrow, since it's tomorrow, and wanted to know what you liked about the link that I sent to you. All right. That is really, that's just like a little note as far as issuing your invitations. When you're talking about your follow-ups, right? I would most of the time, I would say that it's important to make sure that you are always remembering what their problem was and what their goal is. Like, where have they been struggling, right? You know what they told you, those pain points that they told you about, and then what their goal is, right? So that you can always be that bridge from where they are to where they want to be, and let them know that you're going to be the person that's going to be carrying them across that finish line. So a couple of things about follow-ups. I would say that you cannot follow up enough. All right. I'm going to give you a story. When we first moved into this house 3 years ago, I got a phone call from the tree guy, and I wasn't able to pick up. It went to voicemail. Hi, Mrs. Mahaffey. This is the tree service. I drove by your house. I see that you needed some trees removed. I was like, I listened to the voicemail and I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I really do need my trees removed, right? And I don't even know who to call. That's pretty cool. Okay, I got that. Next couple of days, I get another call. I see it coming through because I'm using my phone. It's a tree guy again, right? And I'm like, oh, I can't pick up. Goes to voicemail. Same thing. Hey, Mrs. Mahaffey, just following up. Wanted to know if you wanted this tree, da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, got to call that guy. Couple of days later, maybe it was a week later, hey, Mrs. I see it coming through. I'm like, it was a tree guy. I'm like, hi, this is Mrs. Mahaffey. Yes, I know you're the tree guy. Yes. Okay, great. I really need my trees taken out. The guy really freaked out, but we got all of our trees taken out because there was a problem. They were lifting up some of the concrete and I wanted them out. He didn't know that. He was this little guy trying to call me and just trying to see if, I would want my trees taken out, doing his job. But he was doing his job and he was following up. And I had that problem and he relieved that for me. If we could put the cap on our heads, like, okay, we're relieving a problem for somebody instead of putting our ego like front and center and saying, oh, I just don't want to look bad or I don't want rejection. It would be so much better for them and for us. It's a disservice to our customers, our future challengers, for us to think about ourselves. If it becomes about ourselves in any way, then we're doing disservice to them, right? So the point about that story with the tree guy is you need to follow up several times. You can't just invite one time to the clean week and think it's over. You have to circle back, say, hey, you know what? I dropped that link in, wanted to know what you thought about it. Oh, I really liked it. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are with getting started? I love that question. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are in getting started? And that answer is very important to listen to. And I would say anything from an 8, 9, or 10, that's a great. I'm going to be sending you the link, want you in the group, and get in the group because I've already got like the shopping list loaded or whatever, letting them know that there's something there waiting for them, and that you're going to follow through with. If it's anything below that, anything like a 4 to a 7, I know I am still in the game for this challenge group, and it's going to be like, oh, a 5. Now there must be something that I didn't make clear to you. And I want to make clear to you, or I didn't clarify, or there was a question that I didn't answer. So help me out. What could that be? If you attack that head on, you're going to find out that they just didn't know that they could do this while they're traveling, or they were afraid that they weren't going to have time because they didn't know how much time, or they thought that this group was live and you're running it virtually. Like really, there's the basic things they didn't know. And once they have their answers, that moves them up to an 8, 9, and 10, right? Okay, so you're going to follow up consistently. You're going to keep going. And if they say no this time, you're going to invite them the next time. Always have something to invite them to. The second thing about follow-ups, you got to find a way to track them, all right? In general, if you're not just specifically inviting them to it's not a follow-up to an invitation that you made. If it's just something like you've been connecting with them and you've been messaging them, how are you, that kind of thing, or you've seen them like stuff on your stories, comment on your Facebook posts, you need to write them down, and those people you're going to be following up and either inviting, just connecting, like forming them. How are you? Finding about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and then giving them a message, which would be an invitation. So how do you track? I'll tell you, when I first started, it was the good old pen and paper. And right now, and I went to spreadsheets. The problem with spreadsheets for me was that I wasn't using them. I would take me too long to click onto a link. So what I like to use is I like to put them in my phone. I keep like 10 in play is what I call it. And I have that, and I'll have people from this month that I'll be putting on that list. And once I've invited some people and I've followed up and I've kind of moved them to, okay, I'm going to invite them to next month, or I'm still in play with them for this month, I'll just move around in the notes on my phone. Pen and paper, tracker, spreadsheet, whatever you've got, you're going to figure out what works for you. The point is, don't let them go through the cracks. And then the other thing that I wanted to tell you about was, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Making sure that you are, did I talk about? Yeah, I did talk about that. You're clicking on your posts. And the thing that I wanted to say with this, and if they're clicking on your posts in Facebook, make sure that you don't just dismiss that. If they're liking stuff and they're making a little comment, always go back and comment. It helps the algorithm. All right. If you comment on their stuff on Facebook, in their stories, you can make sure that you write down all those people that have seen it. And you can obviously look for more trainings on both Facebook and Instagram. Ask your sponsor for that. So you're going to lead with enthusiasm. You're going to have a method of tracking. You're going to make sure that you keep following up, keep badgering them in your mind, right? It's not going to be about you. It's going to be about them. And you're going to find out what their problem is and what their goal is. And you're going to always be making sure that you're going to be the bridge from where they are to where they want to be. All right, you guys, have an awesome day. Thanks a lot. Take care.